y'all, and it's Black Story, and today I'm gonna be reacting to a girl drinks water through their butthole. So let's begin.
The story begins with the scene of four high school girls lying unconscious on the beach. They all have pretty hot bodies, but those are not what the plot is about. As they wake up, the girls introduce themselves to each other. This is Asuka, a member of the basketball club and track and field team. The next girl to address herself is Shion, who is wearing her school blazer and has a hobby of playing the piano. The short-haired girl with glasses is Mutsu. She likes reading books and cooking. And the last girl is a girl with long blonde hair named Homare. She tells the others that this isn't the first time she's been left stranded on a deserted island. Now that Homare mentions the island, the other girls eventually acknowledge their current situation. Let's rewind to 12 hours earlier. Floating on the ocean surface are the remains of a plane after a terrible air crash. Homare is in a coma while holding on to a piece of the exploded engine. In her dream, she recalls her younger life, spending time with her survivalist father. They lived in extreme conditions from spring to winter, from the forests to the highest and coldest places. One time, they had to survive by eating moose testicles, the taste of which was so disgusting that it woke Homare up from her coma. The four girls are on a metal board floating in the middle of the sea, and Shion starts whining because of her thirst. Asuka tells Shion to drink seawater to ease her thirst. Homare stops the girl, saying salt water will dehydrate their bodies even more. At this time, they notice a school of flying fish jumping out of the sea. Homare quickly grabs a wooden stick and knocks a fish out. Homare takes off her shirt and wraps it around the fish. She then rolls the wooden stick back and forth to soften the fish and drops its blood into her mouth. Homare kindly shares the fish with the girls, but none of them want to taste the suspicious liquid. After finishing the fish, she puts her shirt back on and still feels comfortable in it. The girls continue their journey on the ocean until the next morning when they noticed an island nearby. As they jump into the water and swim towards the island, they attract a shark due to the smell of blood on Homare's shirt. Facing the shark is just child's play for Homare. She calmly throws a cell phone battery at the shark, which gives it an electric shock and scares it away. With the skills she picked up from her dad, Homare teaches the girls ways to survive on this isolated island, including eating cicadas. She shows them how to get pure water. They can get it from a coconut, a liquid filter system, or from distillation. They can also collect rainwater or find a freshwater source. Mutsu and Shion can have a little rest while Homare and Asuka head to the woods to look for fresh water. After a while, as the two contrast in physical status, Asuka can't catch up with Homare and wants to take a rest. Homare gives Asuka cold shoulders and tells her friend that she's fine going alone. The girls then reach the middle of the woods when Homare notices a sawfly, which is a signal of a nearby freshwater source. And the two continue their journey to the deep jungle. Back to Shion and Mutsu. While Mutsu is resting under a tree, Shion finds something and asks her to come close. The girls have found a dried coconut. At the same time, Asuka is so tired that she can't even move. Homare touches the ground and feels the dirt wet. She knows there must be water around here. She digs for some soil, puts it in a small sack, and squeezes the water out in Asuka's mouth. Finally, there's some water for her. Asuka takes the soil sack and sucks for water. She even thinks the water tastes good. But Asuka's world soon collapses after knowing that the sack is actually Homare's sock. Meanwhile, after attempting to crack the coconut, the girls at the beach are hopeless to know it's not only empty but also a rotten coconut. Suddenly, raindrops start falling. The girls are overjoyed as they don't have to worry about being thirsty, at least for now. Their next plan is to find shelter, but as they're starving, they need to put looking for food as a priority. Homare goes to find some food and brings back a sea urchin, two cicadas, some seaweed, and a mysterious jar of black liquid. They decide to play rock, paper, scissors for a fair dish picking. Shion wins the first round. She picks the sea urchin and enjoys it as a delicious slide of sashimi after Homare seasons it. Asuka aims for the seaweed, as she doesn't want to swallow the other suspicious things. But Mutsu is the one to win the next round, and she picks the seaweed. It seems to be a dead end for Asuka. When there are only two choices left, the dark liquid or the cicadas, Homare lets Asuka choose one herself. She picks up the jar, thinking there's blueberry jam inside, but she immediately vomits after one first bite because it's actually some animal liquid feces. Homare breaks a cicada in half, digs out its brain with a toothpick, and eats the substance in joyfulness. She gives the last cicada to Asuka. Asuka is touched by such a friendly act by Homare, but she really can't eat it. Fortunately, Mutsu shares half of her seaweed with Asuka. That night, they sleep at the beach, and another day has passed. The next morning, Homare starts putting up a tent so that they can at least have a place to stay at night. Asuka looks at Homare with admiration in her eyes, knowing that Homare is becoming a master of survival on this island. Suddenly, Asuka turns whiny, asking Homare to find her food.
I need to say something a little bit. Just eat the damn. When are your time gonna eat like ripping each other's to shreds? Me, if I'm starting like a female, I'll rip that face off. Who they whiny? I'm gonna rip it. I don't care.
Girls admonish her for being all about herself and making her feel embarrassed. Homare is running out of ropes for the tent. She tells the others to stay at the beach while she looks for some more. Asuka volunteers to help her. On the way into the woods, she finds a plant looking like a taro plant. She tries to pull it out and figures it has a turnip root, apart from the fact that the turnip has stripes on it. Homare finds the plant strange and suggests that Asuka not eat it. But the stubborn Asuka doesn't listen to her advice and keeps saying it's fine to eat the plant. Eventually, Homare can't help but tell Asuka to test her allergic range, which is a survival skill to check how one's body reacts to a strange thing. The way to test it is to scrub it on Asuka's skin. If her skin remains the same, the plant isn't harmful. If her skin got a rash, the plant could be toxic.
You can't rub it around your whole entire body. You gotta rub it like around the elbow. And there's some few tests that have been. God, my brain's all over. No, I forget.
Asuka teases Homare, facing her butt at her friend, not knowing that Homare actually scrubs the turnip on her butt. After a while, her butt got a rash, so Homare has to help Asuka clean up the mess. While Homare is collecting vines for the tents, Asuka lies on the grass because of her hunger. As she reaches her hand out to cover her eyes from the sunlight, a cicada lands on her arm. She quickly grabs it, intending to pick its brain out, but she can't do it. She can't take away such a little life. Eventually, she lets it go. But Homare catches it and flicks its head as if it's a bottle cap. Eventually, the tent is somewhat completed. Shion suggests they build a bathroom, making the other girls speechless. It's nearly dark, and Homare and Mutsu are looking for some food at the beach. They take off their clothes and go to the shallow water to forage for snails and clams. After collecting enough hermit crabs, the girls return to the tent, and Homare starts making fire with a piece of glass. The girls then sit around the grilling stones waiting for their mouth-watering seafood meal. They are so grateful to finally have a proper meal after many struggling days. Homare tells her friend to eat as much as they want, for she's caught a lot of hermit crabs just in case they need more. Her next plan is to teach the girls to hunt for bigger animals. The girls find a stream in the forest. As they approach the stream, Homare notices a cage in front of which there are some tiny solid black balls. She picks up a ball and sniffs it, realizing that it's rabbit's feces. So the girls quickly make a trap for whatever material they can find. Homare sets up a rope ring to catch the rabbit. The girls go back to their tents right at the moment Shion has finished collecting wooden sticks. She asks her friends if they have gotten the rabbit yet, but Homare tells her it'd take a few days until their trap managed to catch the rabbit. Shion can't help but whine about how they will starve tonight. Homare tells her friend not to worry much. She'll look for something to eat, but which can just be hermit crabs. Seeing that her friend is sick of eating hermit crabs, Homare says she'll dive deeper to look for some clams. The word clam really lifts Shion's mood up. She blissfully waves goodbye to her friends on their journey to the sea, while her friends don't really appreciate her farewell. Asuka and Homare are at the reef. They take off their clothes and jump into the water looking for clams. Underwater, as Asuka is scared of the dark, she looks around for Homare. Homare at the time has been at the bottom, flipping the rock to find clams. She even uses her ear bubble as diving goggles to see clearer. Seeing Homare come back, Shion can't hide her joy, rushes to hug her friend, and thanks her for the hard work. But her happiness can't last long when she knows what Homare brings back are actually starfish. Homare says those are Northern Pacific Ocean starfish, one of the edible starfish species. When being boiled, these creatures release carbon bubbles which help clean up the metal pot. Shion is still down in the dumps as she can't believe that she has to eat starfish. Homare gives Shion a cooked starfish, telling her to eat it. Shion still hesitates, but when she sees the scratches on Homare's hand, she happily enjoys the starfish and keeps praising the dish. Homare is also happy to see her friend being less complaining. The next morning, Asuka and Mutsu come to check the rabbit trap and find the trap seems to work. They slowly approach the bush, and it's true that there's a rabbit stuck in there. As the rabbit's about to escape, Asuka grabs the rope and pulls it back. Mutsu, with a stick in her hand, is in charge of killing the animal, but she's unable to aim at the rabbit. Eventually, she sits on the ground with disappointment on her face. Doesn't want her friend to cry, Asuka takes the stick and ends the rabbit's life. Shion and Homare are sitting in a tent, suffering from their hunger, when they see their friends come back with the rabbit. Everyone is so excited as it's been quite a while since they last had meat in their meal. They enjoyed every bite of the rabbit meat. When they finish their meal, it's dark. The girls lie on the beach together, feeling thankful for their fullest meal ever since they were left stranded on this island. The next day, Homare decides to explore the island to enhance their survival chances, and she needs one person to go with her. All of the girls volunteer to go, so Homare has to choose one of them, who is Mutsu. For their journey, they prepare water, a rope, a knife, and some dried shells. The other girls can't hide the sadness on their face when they have to stay.